Hey, what's going on? So we are about to go grocery shopping, and you might be wondering, all right, so what does grocery shopping, Jiu Jitsu, and mental toughness have in common? Great question.
And when you find your passion, it ignites you as a person. You just feel awesome.
So let me tell you a little story, right? So a couple weeks ago, I needed to go grocery shopping, right? I get in the car, I show up at the grocery store. Masks are now mandatory, and there is a line going around the building. It was about 50 degrees, rainy, fun times. So I was waiting in line, and there was a feeling in the air. By the time I got into the grocery store, it was not a good feeling. There is an air of like lacking, like the feeling of lacking and scarcity. Some people were yelling at each other, people were not happy, people were not smiling at each other. You know, there's a percentage chance of something not being there that you need. So when I got home, like, I did not feel good, like emotionally. I was like, that was complete crap. Like, that experience was crap. I mean, this is grocery shopping during a time of a pandemic where, you know, coronavirus can be spread amongst people, and Massachusetts had, and still does have currently, the third highest death rate and infection rate. And it made me wonder, it's like, okay, well, if I can do jiu-jitsu matches and incorporate mental toughness, why not incorporate those same skills of mental toughness now into grocery shopping during a pandemic? First, in order to understand mental toughness, we have to understand our real self,
So everything is good.
and our performer self.
Problem?
Because things can get a little dicey if the performer self is the driver, the majority driver in life. So let's see if you can figure out what happens if the performer self takes over for the majority of the time.
So I've seen you've been playing a lot of video games. Does that make you feel fulfilled? Listen, all right? This game is fulfilling. Once I beat Corona for You and Hot Daddy 69, I'll be the champ, all right? All right, we don't have to think about that right now. Let's just play some games. Have you drank enough water today? Or eaten like good food? I am not eating my emotions. I'm bulking, and these are veggie chips. I care about us. How are you going to perform at your peak if you're not taking care of these basic needs? So judgy. Are you having a good relationship with like people around you? Are you feeling love? Are you giving love? Like, let's check in. Let's just see how you're. Whoa, listen, calm down. Calm down. You're getting way too emotional with that touchy-feely crap. Cool. Zip it. Get your head in the game. Those emotions, stuff them down. Stuff them down deep. Just, feeling emotional pain? Just ignore it. Then you never feel anything. It's freaking amazing. Champ is here. Champ of emotions. How's your sleep? I'm a machine. I don't need sleep. You know, if you got some sun, it would probably help reset your circadian rhythm so that you would sleep better at night. Oh, you feel tired? Oh, poor baby.
2 hours later.
Listen, all right? I'm driving. You just need to relax, all right? Shh. I made us some new gauges. See? We are never gonna have to worry about anything. All right, what? So you're gonna put this in front of the real dials? How are we gonna know if we're actually out of gas? It's going to be freaking awesome! All right. How are we gonna know when to go to the gas station? How are we gonna know how fast we're actually going? How are we gonna operate this vehicle without... There, see? Always full. We can go 50, says it's 25. Perfect. Are you ready? How are we gonna know what our tank is really at, though? No, it's fine. No, we'll be fine, look. All right, how are we not gonna get pulled over for like speeding? Everything is perfect, all right? You're getting way too emotional. I still don't understand how we can operate without knowing what's really going on, without really reading the dials. Like, it just doesn't seem very logical to me. Just calm down. This is definitely a champion plan right here. She got... This is insane. I think I'm gonna take the wheel now. Oh yeah, no really, you need to get out of the driver's seat. Yeah, no, this is this. All right, so what were your thoughts on the difference between our real self, so everything is good, and our performer self? Problem? Because both are important if they're utilized correctly. So basically, you can probably spot sometimes within yourself and other people if the performer self is taking over. Champ! And that's the self where it's like, oh yeah, everything's fine, everything's good. Get your head in the game. Those emotions, stuff them down. Stuff them down deep. And during that day, a couple weeks ago, I needed to go grocery shopping, right? That day, my performer self kind of took over in the morning. So what happened was, in the morning, I was like, you know what? I don't need to eat breakfast. I'm a machine. I'm fine. I'm gonna go without coffee. Oh, you feel tired? Oh, poor baby. I'm just gonna not bring any water with me. I'm just gonna go straight to the grocery store and get this done as quick as possible. I'm a machine. And so I let my performer self take over, and it didn't allow me to be properly fueled. See? We are never gonna have to worry about anything. So I definitely went there on an empty stomach, which was a big no-no. Like, my real needs weren't met when I showed up at the grocery store that day. Have you drank enough water today, or eaten like good food, or how's your sleep? Like, today is a bit different. Like, I'm hydrated, well rested. I've had breakfast, and I'm definitely like going in there with my real needs met, which is huge. So in order to properly implement the performer self, all of our real needs need to be met by listening to our real self during a time period when those real needs can be met. So for example, like, I want to make sure that I am hydrated before going to the grocery store. That way, when I'm in the grocery store, my performer self can take over and I can like not answer the phone on my needs that can't be met in that specific time period. So I'm not going to answer the phone on any of my emotional needs, any of like my physical needs, unless they can be met in that moment in time. Feeling emotional pain? Just ignore it. Then you never feel anything. And then when I like get back to the car and get done grocery shopping, like, that's when I can have my real self take over and put the performer self aside. That way my real needs can be met. Because if I let my performer self run too much of the show, then I don't have my real self can't adequately gauge my needs. So you're gonna put this in front of the real dials? how are we gonna know if we're actually out of gas? And as a human, we need the ability to rest, to recover, to eat, to refuel, to expend the energy. Mentally and physically, we need that oscillation of like regaining our energy and spending our energy. If we regain too much energy and not spend enough energy, then that's an imbalance that causes us to be sad, or vice versa. If we go too much and too hard and don't take time to rest because our performer self is like, yeah, you don't need to eat, you don't need to drink, like keep on going, then we can't operate at our optimum performance when needed because our real needs aren't met. And that's only the base of the pyramid. And if you go up from there, we need the ability to feel love and give love.
Are you having a good relationship with like people around you? Are you feeling love? Are you giving love? Like let's check in. Let's just see how you're. Whoa, listen, you're getting way too emotional with that touchy-feely crap.
We need the ability to feel like we're fulfilled and to do things that create that certain feeling of fulfillment. So for example, if we let our performer self take over for the majority of the time and we're like, all right, well, I'm gonna like sit on the couch and play a bunch of video games and eat crap, not exercise. I have a nagging feeling of like, you know, I'm not being fulfilled, but we're just going to ignore that, everything's fine. So you could see if the performer self takes over in that everything is fine type attitude, then pretty soon everything won't be fine. And we're gonna be like, why do I feel like crap? Like, so yeah, so basically the moral of the story is it's really important to distinguish like the real self and the performer self, and to use each one appropriately, to live the majority of the time in the real self so that we can be honest with our needs and get those needs met, but to be able to incorporate our performer self when it's needed. You know, like if you have an important meeting coming up, or if you're trying to grocery shop during a pandemic, is a great time to implement the performer self. Or if you have, you know, a tournament or a jiu-jitsu once, you know, maybe one day when we do jiu-jitsu again. If you have any time where you need to just have optimum performance, is a time when you can implement your performer self to take over and to be in your ideal performer state. But otherwise, if you're in that state all the time and you don't get your real needs met, then, you know, you're not going to be operating at your peak performance. So then your performer self is going to be here when it could be here. And you know, who likes to live a life when you're not real with yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, but all right, so thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go grocery shopping. I'm going to make sure we're hydrated, probably have another snack. Then when I get there, it's game face. Everything is amazing. And you know what's funny? Like the past few weeks when I implemented this, I was actually at the grocery store and I was smiling at people, people were smiling back. So it's amazing when you project a certain feeling and emotion, how that emotion is reflected. So it made grocery shopping a lot better just to smile at people and stop my cart and let people go in front of me, and to project feelings of good, happy vibes. That way it's like, at least you can be a ray of sunshine in somebody's day. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of like makes it a lot cooler experience. You know what I'm saying? But all right, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye. All right, so one more thing. So just to be clear, I don't know if you completely understood my point, but the whole point of like mental toughness is to be able to perform at your peak when needed. So being mentally tough is being able to call on your performer self, your ideal performer self, and have that performer self be able to operate at a maximum capacity. And to do that, you need to have all your real needs met, or else the performer self isn't going to be performing at the optimum level that it could. All right, so until next time, bye. And grocery shopping is done. Cheers to that.